This week I read a particular book that takes place in a very particular space at a very particular time. This is Child Wonder by Roy Jakobsen. It's about a young boy named Finn who's growing up in a suburb of Oslo in Norway. And it's not only about him, but it's in his voice. The child narrator has been done a number of times, though, so it has to be something special to capture the real confusion of growing up. I have a soft spot for coming-of-age novels, though, and this one doesn't disappoint. Growing pains play an important role here as Finn lashes out at others, especially those that are closest to him. Like his mother, who can't, or perhaps won't, explain why his sister isn't like all the other children. And she has other secrets as well, but I won't give them all away. If I did that, you wouldn't be able to empathize with Finn's frustration and anger, and that's one of the most powerful parts of the book. Even in this working-class neighborhood, where Finn and his mother are struggling to get by, poverty isn't what makes Finn angry. Instead, it's situations that all children face at one time or another, when they figure out something they weren't old enough to understand, and often this realization leads to a feeling of betrayal. Finn used to feel like he and his mother were on the same team, but now he's not so sure. Another important part of a book that's narrated by a child is the style of writing. Jakobsen has to keep the language simple, and pull out details that a child would notice that maybe adults wouldn't. But one of the things that's special about Child Wonder is that he also plays with tense in the book. I don't know if this is partly a result of choices made by the translator, who translated this book from Norwegian into English, and since I can't read the Norwegian text of the book, I'll just have to tell you what it's like to read this one. At first I thought these changing tenses made the book feel a little disjointed, but then I thought maybe this disjointedness serves a purpose. I'll read you a paragraph where the tenses change pretty rapidly. That was what I was thinking while I sat admiring Tanya's long hair, which was like a river of shiny ink. I leaned forward over my desk to smell her fragrance, a mixture of flowers and petrol. No one smells like Tanya, no one has a more beautiful voice. Just a pity she so seldom uses it. Yes, it is so rare that you sit there the whole time thinking, "Come on, girl, talk, I'm dying to hear you." And I haven't even mentioned Linda's voice, because it's her I can't bear to think about. Holfrook and Heinrichsen's congenial tones have now come to Leif Andreas Larsen and the Shetland Boosman she slipped seamlessly into the Cold War, which is why we must all have a bomb shelter in the cellar with big iron doors that can't be opened by children under 12. This is the nuclear age, at which point she returns to yellow, red, and black, and I can see that Freddy 1 is aching to interject that black likes to show his squirrel to young girls. But even Freddy 1 has a hold on himself today. Even Freddy 1 is touched by the fate of yellow, red, and black. So maybe this disjointedness speaks to Finn's confusion. Or perhaps it speaks to the power of certain memories to bring you right back to a particular place and time. Right back to those emotional moments that never seem to leave you. Either way, the changing tenses certainly changes your experience of the book. And for me, it added something. So if you find yourself thinking a book is difficult for one reason or another, try turning it into a question. What's the point of writing this narrative in two tenses? You know it's intentional, so more often than not, you're going to find an answer. That was Child Wonder, and you're watching Brave Little Books.